the more we do, the more people can see it.
To combine the animal world and filmmaking, yeah, it would be an ultimate dream at the end of the day.
And nobody really prints anymore. But when you walk into someone's house and you see this amazing picture up on the wall.
What's left on the cave wall is how we remember our history. It's how we depict what happened. It's the vases that were left over. It's the mosaics that we find. That's how we know what was in fashion. That's how we know what the materials they were using to paint, to sculpt.
Jazz and modern were my happy places. They're the place that my body felt most at home.
I've transformed wanting to do an interesting painting to now capturing emotion and telling a story.
The reality that I'm not as fast as I want to be. I spent easily 240 hours trying to do some animation, and even that much time was nowhere near enough.
Whenever I'd be driving home with Granny, I'd always beg her to take the Saskatoon Mountain Road, because I just thought this road was so much more fun. I love driving. That's actually something I try to push for when I know that we do have out of town work. I like having my vehicle with me once we do get there, so that I can go explore, whatever area that we are in. But also, part of that bossy pants, a little bit of a control freak. I like to be the one behind the wheel because I think I'm the best driver there is. I'm not sure how many times I've stayed out of town because we've done a lot of filming in the Grande Prairie area. There was a documentary that took probably 18 months to film, so we were down there, I don't know how many times, in the Jasper and Grande Prairie area. Then I've been to Saskatoon a few times, down to Vancouver Island, all throughout southern Alberta for film camps.
Well, my name's Allison Petteplace. I am from the Peace Region area. I was born in Beaver Lodge, and that's actually where I graduated high school as well. Grew up on a small grain farm in the area. And after being married and divorced and having a child, I decided to pursue a career and moved to Vancouver for a year of makeup school at Blanche Macdonald. Growing up, I never really considered having a career or doing anything outside of being a stay-at-home mom and getting married and raising my children in a very fundamental Christian values. Since then, my views, my beliefs, my values, my ethics, my morals, everything about me has changed. So I didn't ever really have a dream or have a passion of doing something like this. It wasn't until basically I got divorced and I realized I needed to do something for me. So I went to makeup school for myself. I went to have fun, to meet new people, and I had read such amazing things about the program at Blanche Macdonald. So I flew down to Vancouver and I toured the school, and it was like I walked into a second home. I belonged there. I knew I needed to be there. I embarked on this journey of moving away from my parents, who I'd never lived away from, and in the proceedings of a divorce, and being a single mom, raising my kid half of the time. And I went to this school that changed my life. I went in, hoping to learn how to do a decent eyeliner on myself, and I came out with this new experience and profound sense of gratitude after being uplifted and loved and encouraged and guided by some incredible mentors and artists who have made it their life's work to leave everybody else better off than where they started.
You and I, we were meant to be. I feel it in my soul, feel it in my soul. Never separated, you and me. Broken made whole, broken made whole. The world that tries to steal our hope tries to make us numb, but our love has overcome. And you, my dear, you are my pride.
I moved back to Grande Prairie and I was putting together a promotional package to sell myself for weddings. And I got a phone call to do makeup for a commercial for film. And that was not what I expected. So I had already at this point did some volunteering in the community with the theater world. But now I was getting phone calls to work in film, which I didn't know Grande Prairie had that. I knew we had a little small theater, and I knew that there was a performing arts festival once a year. But what I didn't know was that there was all of these small little companies that were blooming and looking for somebody to do professional makeup. And so I didn't end up really going down the road of weddings at all. I've done maybe a handful, but my focus has actually been on film. And it's taken me all over the place. My vehicle is my office.
First part of my makeup career, flying in and out of that airport every week for a year.
Really?
Going back and forth to Vancouver. I would fly to Vancouver every week for school and then fly home again every weekend to be with Grayson.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time in the air.
And I think that's where I'm at now. It's not just about doing makeup, it's about helping other people to tell their stories that need to be told, because there are so many stories out there, and there's so many voices that have something important to say. So if I can be that person who goes on set and I don't need to be doing makeup, I can just be holding that boom pole and getting the sound for you. I can set up lights, but if we can be there and help get this story told and maybe make a difference and leave somebody better than where they started, that's what this is all about. I would describe myself now as a bossy pants. So I definitely know where my lane is when I get to a set. I can recognize whose job is whose, but I also can see it's like, hey, I can kind of help you with that. So if I see you're struggling there, let me come and help you with the lighting. If, you know, we need these phone calls done or somebody needs a grant written, I can do that too. But I would say my aim now, my goal is to become a producer. I see eventually putting the makeup brushes down and picking up that pen and writing grants, talking to people, connecting to people, bringing the right people together, fundraising, and getting those stories told that need to be heard. I work with mostly men, so sometimes there is a little bit of that, hey, I'm not here to pick up everybody's coffee cups, I am here to do my job. It's about just knowing your boundaries, being firm with them, and knowing that you don't have to smile for anybody. I would love to work with just an all-female crew. And I say this because I haven't. And I think it would just be so much fun because I know the few times I have worked with a few women on set, we've just like bonded. We just click because it's like, hey, you're a girl, I'm a girl. We got to stick together, right? But if we could have a whole crew of that, like imagine the kind of magic that could be made. Follow that passion. You don't have to go to school for it. You have to put in the time and then make some contacts. Find out where you can volunteer. Find out where you can intern and just put yourself out there because you never know where it might lead you. I went to school for makeup as a hobby, as something to better myself and to have some fun. And now here I am 5 years later and I'm live streaming and doing documentaries and traveling and doing television shows. So really the sky's the limit. I mean, it's a glass ceiling, but let's just keep breaking it.
Looking like a baddie, I show up and make them stop. Wanna know my name so badly, cause I run this whole block. Flip my hair, move my head, show the world I'm royalty. When I walk by, they be taking bows, cause they know I'm the queen, yeah. Move it, groove it, groove it. They wanna know just how I do it when I do it. I got that magic touch, it's a rush, pulsing through my veins. When I show up, everybody knows that I'ma change the game. Just how I do it when I do it. I got that magic touch, it's a rush, pulsing through my veins. When I show up, everybody knows that I'ma change the game.